What is good? Jay Wayne's over there doing his best Nicolas Cage. Over there trying to find a pig or something. I don't know.
It's done in 60 seconds.
Yeah, he's got some other pig movie out. I don't know. I don't know what the old Cage is up to.
He's got expensive tastes. So he has to make a bunch of BS movies to pay for his wine
Castles.
addiction or something. Castles.
Nicolas Cage.
Anyway, what are we doing?
I did love Con Air when I was a kid. We are gonna hit some Amon-Ra St. Brown. Another one of these final rookie reports, ushering in a new class and ushering out the 2021 class here, ushering in the 2022 class, so you can find the new prospect breakdowns. But we wanted to do kind of a final recap of the rookies who just already made their mark in the NFL. And we kind of did some Pitts, did some Harris, gonna throw a little St. Brown because he's hot, baby. He's hot.
Medium-sized dogs gotta eat too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course.
I don't think Amon-Ra's a big dog.
No, he's definitely not a big dog. And he looked a lot smaller on the field. When we first saw him in preseason, he looked like, he wasn't that 6 foot, 6'1",
on PFF,
195.
It says he's 6'1", and on Player Profiler, it says
5'11".
5'11". I don't know.
I think he's definitely... I think he's definitely closer to that 5'11" when you see him on the field. Although, for some reason, some guys just look smaller on the field. I don't know what it is.
But his play... It's big.
He plays like a big dog.
Yeah. And he eats.
Yeah, he fucking ate. He sure did.
Ate. If you weren't sure, over the last 5 weeks of the season, he was the wide receiver 2, Casey.
Dose.
2. He averaged 25 points per game in PPR. Which, what are you doing if you're not playing PPR? I mean, come on. What a fantastic run to just win you a ship, basically. Wide receiver 2.
He was great.
We fed him to you in the rookie drafts this past offseason, toot my own horn.
With or without Jared Goff, little Tim Boyle action in there, still crushed. After he was doing all of this work, people knowing that he was going to get the ball, still being a medium-sized dog and eating. They
get hungry. They got to eat.
You're not stopping this guy. He was, you could say what you want, and you could say, we got all there's all sorts of stats that we'll filter in here
for you.
But
straight facts. We keep it real.
We know they didn't have anybody else, but so did everybody else.
Everyone knew they didn't have anyone.
Right. And while he's hammering you in the face through this stretch with 2 different quarterbacks, you still couldn't stop him when you knew that it was his time to shine. And he was getting all that shine. And he was still just crushing in your lineup and on the real deal field week in, week out. So it was great to see. I was super excited about it. I have him on so many teams. Pretty much just about any team that I have by myself, I have him. I have him a couple shared teams with you.
Let's get some stats in here, okay?
Hit me with them. What do you got?
105 targets, tied for 24th. 82 receptions, tied for 14th. 803 yards, only good for 30th. 9.8 yards per reception, only good for 34th. 4 touchdowns. 377 yak, though, tied for 14th. And 4.6 yak per reception, which is tied for 11th with my boy Hunter Renfrow. Go Tigers. A-Dot, though, man, really let us down. 100th. He's 100th with 6.8. That means he can't be good. Jarvis Landry, 0.50. Oh, no. What are you going to do? But 9 contested catches, which is tied for 32nd. And he was 7th in contested catch rate. My man was bringing down contested balls.
Oh, for sure. He's not playing games.
Most of the time, he wasn't contested.
He ain't contested, Bo.
My favorite stat is the next gen stat that charted him with 3.6 yards of separation, which is good for 21st.
I like that.
My man was getting separated, but when he couldn't,
keep him separated,
he would get that contested catch. Let's see. He did have 8 catches over 20 yards. I spun that to make it sound good. 8 catches over 20 yards, but a long of 37, right?
Ain't nobody got that now nutter like you do. I don't know what it mean, but it sound good.
So, he didn't crush long
No, that's not his
long
game.
catches,
That's not
you
really
know.
his game, though.
But the yards per reception and the A-dot, Casey, can't be any good. You must sell him because these are all inflated fake numbers.
He can do some work downfield and catch those contested catch balls, but that's not his game. And yeah, sure, sell him. That's fine. Here's the thing. If you want to sell him and you can get a king's ransom for him, I guess I'm not going to knock you for it. And there's a bunch of different ways to play this game.
Right.
So if you want to just be the guy who cashes in on everybody's value, and because you drafted him at the end of the second, and now if you could trade into any of those first round startup picks that we showed you on the last couple guys that we did, any of those guys that are up in that range right now, if you can figure out how to turn Amon-Ra St. Brown into Kyle Pitts somehow, or these big time players, the CDs.
You'd have to sell your whole draft plus Amon-Ra.
The CD Lambs and all those other guys. But other than that, I'm not selling Amon-Ra St. Brown for just some random late first or just a hodgepodge of other bullshit and whatnot. Like, I get it. Like, the value on him moved. And if you don't believe in him, sell him.
You're not selling him for a random first. That's what you said?
I guess if it was a top couple of picks in the first round, but other than that, I'm just going to hang on to him.
All right, before we go any further, we got to discuss two things.
Hold the phone.
You need to be shaving your balls, trimming them up, shaping them.
Whether you're an analytics guy or a film guy.
You got to get down there and take care of business, okay? If you're not, what are you doing? And two,
whether it's for her or for you, maybe you're living alone.
You need a separate razor. You can't use your face razor on your balls.
Yeah,
can't do it.
You don't want to clean up self-serving stuff out of a bush. You want to keep it clean. A nice one-wipe Charlie.
Upgrade, baby. You need to upgrade, which is why we are very excited to tell you about a new sponsorship that we have with Manscaped.com. They reached out to us and wanted us to test their product and bring it to you guys, so we did. And this is a paid sponsorship, full disclosure, but we're extremely excited about Manscaped. The best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard it right, 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off
Use guys.
Free worldwide shipping with the code THEFFD at Manscaped.com. This new 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade. It's waterproof. It's anti-rust. It's anti-nick. It helps reduce ingrown hairs. It's just everything you could want. It's extremely comfortable. Shave in the shower, out of the shower. It's your favorite time. It's an LED light down there so you can see what you're missing. Plenty of other things at Manscaped.com too. They got ball deodorant, a little spritzer freshen up, the weed whacker for nose trimming,
ear trimming,
the whole kit and caboodle. It makes a great gift for yourself, for your boy, for your friend, for your father,
for your wife,
for your
girlfriend, for your side chick,
for your dog. Just kidding. No animals were harmed in the making of this video.
Go ahead and freshen up your FFD with the Lawnmower 4.0. Help your boys out. Help your boys out.
Help your boys and your boys.
Get the word out.
Let us know. Go late first.
Yeah, I mean, no. Like I'm saying, like a 1 through 4. If you're going to give me a top 4 or 5 pick, then yeah, maybe I could do that, and maybe I could turn that into something else. Even if I don't want to make that pick, maybe you could turn him into Devonta Smith. Maybe you like him a little better. Maybe you could, turn that into a player like that. If you can make those kind of moves, I guess that's fine. But it's just he exploded, so you got to sell him. And, I'm sure some people weren't into him and didn't like him, so you definitely got to sell him. That's fine. I'm not selling him just to sell him. Like I can understand that sentiment on some players and on at some time, and saying, well, his value will never be higher. And it's like, maybe it won't be, but like I think
I thought that about Renfro before this year started, and look what fucking happened.
I think he can continue doing what he's doing if he just keeps scoring in the fucking top 10 of wide receivers, then I'm good. I'm going to hang on to that guy. Again, we said it on the last video. Like, if you want to trade away players that are good in scoring points, by all means, trade away players. Like, you don't have to, just because that the needle moved a little bit, that you don't have to go out and sell this guy. You could just keep guys who are good players for your fantasy team. Right. That's kind of the point of the game, is to win.
It's 100%.
If your team sucks and this is one of your best assets and you're trying to rebuild the whole roster, I mean, yeah, sure, I get it. Like, you got to use your chips to rebuild and rebuild quickly, because you don't want to be doing it for 3 years. So, this would be a good piece in that regard.
But if you're not playing for if you're playing for money, which you should be. Play for some, not 20, not even 50. Get up to 100. Get up to 150.
So everybody just wants to tell you who to sell because they crushed and did this and did that. And I'm not saying we're not guilty of that from time to time, but there's usually some context and some rationale behind it. And we have a guy, Big Co, who operates under these circumstances. So he is going to be trying to find the partner to sell St. Brown with in a decent amount of leagues if he has him. But he's not going to sell him for pennies on the dollar. He's either going to hold or strike while the iron's hot and move him for an elevated price that was over market value. And market value right now, he's moved himself into the top 50 of ADP right now, St. Brown has. So he's going to figure that out. Maybe try to figure out how to get a Jalen Waddle for St. Brown. Something kind of similar to those lines. If you could move up to a caliber of player like that, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying, like, it's okay to just keep good players and try to win. It's crazy, I know. But some more stats for you. If you go to week 8 and move on, because some of these stats are skewed because it did take a little while for Amon-Ra St. Brown to really get on the field and really start using him how they were using him. But week 8 on, tied for 5th in targets in the league. He was 3rd in PFF grade, right under Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams from week 8 on. Those are fucking hitters right there. Those are killers.
Those are not devastating to my case.
Right. And I get it. TJ Hawkinson missed chunks. Swift missed chunks. They're probably either going to get a free agent wide receiver or they're going to get a drafted wide receiver, because I'm sure some of you were screaming about that before when you're saying, well, how can you not sell him? This is what's going to happen. And it's like, maybe so.
That can only help. I mean, come on.
I mean, it could hurt with some of the stuff that we're talking about with the target rates. And
he does score touchdowns, though.
He certainly can.
Short area.
He seems to have a rapport with Jared Goff moving forward, and they didn't have anybody. And
I don't know what the Lions are going to do. I think they picked too high to probably spend that on a quarterback.
They're not. They're probably. It's going to be Jared Goff probably at least for another year. Almost regardless. Like, even if they pick a quarterback, I could see Jared Goff just being, there's no really highly coveted guy this year who you're just like ready to jump all in and be, at least at this point, at this juncture.
I mean, there's some
not saying that there isn't going to be some great quarterbacks in here,
but no quarterback.
Right. And the offensive line should be something that should be a standout piece for the Detroit Lions moving forward.
I mean, they could go. I mean, I guess they got Sewell, so they don't need to grab like a Neal.
No,
they're probably going defense on their first pick.
I don't know what they're going to do on their first pick. They could trade down. They could do all sorts of things. They could take Burks. They could take Drake London. They could draft. They could get a free agent wide receiver and draft one of those guys. Who knows? And sure, that some of that could be hurtful to Amon-Ra St. Brown's case.
Devastating to my case. Overruled. Good call.
I think he's still a really strong player. He's shown you how good he can be. He's shown you how good his good is when, especially like you said, when in that stretch run where everybody knew, hey, there ain't anybody else. This guy's getting the ball. You still couldn't fucking stop him, and he still kept fucking taking doo-doos on your chest. Like,
whether you wanted him to or not.
Exactly. Which some people are into it, some people aren't,
Fair. Not me. I would like to keep.
But I just want to bring it kind of
my chest.
Bring it kind of full circle and kind of give you one more reason why I don't think that much is going to change for St. Brown. He's still going to get his as long as Dan Campbell's around and Brad Holmes is the GM. Again, we know this is one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the league coming into it. They lost Tyrell Williams early. They lost Cephas a few weeks later. They brought in Josh Reynolds, who was familiar with Jared G. See what I did there? Jared G. Give him a little Jimmy G. No, okay,
I get
all right,
it.
I'll move on.
Nobody likes Jimmy G.
No, but he's handsome.
Well, no one can deny that.
Josh Reynolds give him a nice little boost
No
here,
hetero.
and I think they should probably just re-sign Josh Reynolds and maybe even just draft another wide receiver there. So, Brad, like I mentioned, Brad Holmes is the GM. He was the former Rams director of college scouting. So, drafted guys like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods in that organization.
The most random shit.
Which, well, I mean, I did know that, but I researched it a little bit.
My research.
Which, Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you read articles, a lot of Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp talk about how he was. Brad Holmes even said, guy reminds me a lot of a Cooper Kupp type player. That's a ringing endorsement. I think that he's going to be somebody who sticks around and has a role in this fucking offense. Then on top of that, you come back and they moved him to the top of the board as soon as the fourth round was coming on. After day 3 or day 2, whatever, day 2 would be 2 and 3. So day 3, he was Amon-Ra St. Brown, top of the board for Dan Campbell and the GM Brad Holmes, former Rams guy. And then they end up drafting him. And what kind of happens here is Amon-Ra St. Brown comes in and is just an immediate fit with Dan Campbell and exactly what he wants to do, and it's cool and fun to make fun of biting kneecaps and all that, but Dan Campbell kept that team, and we talked about it a couple times in season, just in every game, fighting for their lives, kept that locker room engaged. That locker room could have turned their back so quickly, and they have in the past in Detroit, and Dan Campbell is trying to shift a culture, and a guy like St. Brown coming in right now is trying to help shift this culture. When you watch him in the run game, he is a run blocking bulldog. Just like in the contested catches, he's great. He's a little
pit
medium dog. Gotta eat. He's gonna eat. He's gonna eat in the run game. He never quits. He never comes off the field. He's just mean and nasty. They kind of had him slotted. I watched a bunch of games, little cut ups and highlights and all this stuff. They had him all sorts of weird formations and alignments, lining him up at running back, kind of having him slotted in where tight ends would be, using him in all sorts of different fashions, using him on crackbacks, using him in all sorts of blocking formations. And St. Brown never looked out of place and never looked like he was getting tossed around by some of the bigger guys on the defensive line that were coming at him. Then you come into camp and immediately St. Brown is in there with no bullshit, tough attitude, just gets in a little dust up first day of camp, just setting the tone. Then right after that, next day or 3, comes in and gets into it with Jeff Okudah, who's a high draft pick for them. He's just not fucking scared. If you're scared, buy a dog. St. Brown's the fucking dog.
I ain't never scared.
He's never scared. Cue the Bone Crusher.
I don't have it.
He just bringing the attitude, bringing that culture shifting, and setting an example with work ethic. Like, he catches 202 footballs from the jugs machine after practice every day.
Why 202?
I don't know. There's probably a reason. I didn't find that out. But in the articles that I read, they were all consistent with these kind of things of just
who the fuck wasn't following up that article with
Amon-Ra St. Brown is bringing to this team and how he fits with trying to shift this culture. You hear countless guys leaving that Detroit locker room, ex-guys who were like, we came from other places and went there as a free agent, and it's so fucked up how soft and how much bullshit goes on in the Lions organization. And it just seems like there could be maybe a little shift here. And St. Brown is, I think, just ingrained in the fabric of what the fuck is going on over there. I just don't really think that they're just going to draft other guys and then not use St. Brown anymore. I think he just is a culture fit, a scheme fit. I think they're just going to find ways. The GM's comping him to Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods kind of guys. The coach loves him, kind of has the same outlook, the gritty mentality, the physicality, the culture setting, all those kind of things. And then you turn all of that into just monster production. St. Brown caught at least 8 footballs in his final 6 games. Whew. No rookie had ever done that in the history of the NFL. He racked up 35 catches in the final month of the season, a league high amongst all players, finished with 90 catches and 912 yards, both franchise rookie records. And a lot of this information came from an article from mcall.com. I didn't catch the author's name there, but obviously somebody who's, Detroit Lions hot and heavy.
And the stat you just gave, that was through week 18. When I was reading those stats earlier, just for reference, that was through week 17 to not kind of count that extra bogus week, but
so
still an amazing season.
You could say get rid of this guy. You can say whatever, and that they're going to bring all these other guys in, and it's not going to matter. Swift's going to come back. Hawkinson's going to come back. They're going to pick up these guys. And, yeah, it's definitely going to hurt a little bit of the crazy production that he had, but they were lining him up at running back. They were handing him the ball. He was running 3 or 4 different routes out of the backfield. You get him matched up with a linebacker, and he was winning those routinely on the angles and the Texases and the wheels and all sorts of different things.
Crack when his whip a tail.
You know, everything just continued to develop. They used him all over the formation. They used him in a bunch of different ways. He had a little bit of Debo to him with that gritty physics. He's obviously not Debo. I'm not saying that he is, but like they just used him all over the place, and he was fucking successful, man. Like, so I just don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going anywhere. If you want to capitalize on the crazy back end of the season that he has and moving for an elite talent, fine with it, but just don't go moving him for some other Joe Schmo because he had a better
ADOT or
better, athletic profile,
yards
or
per
better,
reception,
whatever. Just be calculated in the move that you're going to make here. I'm not telling you not to make it, but I'm telling you that this guy could be something special for years to come here, and I'm not anxious to move him because I'm not going to get my value disrespected by somebody who hasn't put the respect on his name.
Right. All right. Well, if we had to do it over again, and we're in a rookie draft. Obviously, I think we're going, we'd take the Chase Pitts, Najee, Javonte, Waddle, Devontae, and probably even ET, right? I would take all those guys over Amon-Ra, but I mean, he's probably next up for me. I don't know. Let's work our way from easiest to hardest here. Got to take him over Terrace Marshall, right? Mm-hmm. Got to take him over Rondale. Mm-hmm. Bateman? Give me Amon-Ra. Tony?
Bateman because of the situation, sure. Tony,
you're taking Amon-Ra over Bateman.
Yeah, because of the situation. And same thing with Rondale. I think Rondale could be awesome, but I just need you to just flip that switch to know that you're going to use him and be a focal point where you've had some opportunities this year to do that because you lost some players, and I haven't seen it yet. Got to see it first. Give me St. Brown.
Tony, Tucci.
Because of where the Giants are, and I guess this is a bad rationale, and maybe they got the assistant GM for the Bills, and maybe they bring in Dayball, and maybe Dayball that's a springboard for him as the head coach in New York, and maybe they can develop Daniel Jones like they've developed Josh Allen and turn him into something great. And then Tony's awesome. Tony is awesome. I think right now I just feel a little safer taking the St. Brown than I do the Tony, although the Tony would be one of those guys where maybe potential higher upside, although the St. Brown upside was just fucking elite. So
right. All right, let's make it a little harder. Elijah Mitchell.
I'll probably go Mitchell there.
Yeah? Well, right. I thought you were going to definitely take St. Brown, but okay. Mitchell? I could see that. I mean, he's a running back. And,
sure.
That's a good system.
Yeah, I mean, if they haven't given it to anybody else at this point,
nobody else.
I'll bite.
All right, last one. Elijah Mitchell. Or sorry, we just did that. Elijah Moore, the other Elijah.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because I want to do everything I can to get Elijah Moore. I think you
probably got to take Elijah Moore.
I think that's even for me right now, but I think I would take Elijah Moore just because it seems like
more of a game breaker.
Right. And is probably being drafted to be I like the fact that I saw when he was in there that the Jets kind of built that offense around him, and from week 7 to whenever he went out, he was the wide receiver 7 or 3 or some crazy number as well. So he was doing his thing. Didn't do the research. Don't have that number exactly in front of me. We'll have it eventually when we get to his rookie report card here. But yeah, no, I think that would be fairly even. But I like the maybe plus the athleticism for Moore a little bit. Elijah Moore,
and nobody dislikes Elijah Moore.
Right.
So if you could turn St. Brown into Elijah Moore, you could probably turn Elijah Moore into a lot more.
Two woeful franchises, but I like Saleh and I like the coordinator for the Jets. So,
all right, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Shanahan's offspring, right?
Yeah,
it's a brother of LaFleur, right?
Yeah,
LaFleur's brother. All right, lastly but not least, so he's 50th in ADP, just jumped up out of the next hemisphere up to the top 50 in ADP.
right.
Amon-Ra.
Which, it's probably where some sell stuff comes from.
All right, so he's ahead of guys like Brandon Ayuk. Would you take Ayuk or St. Brown?
Seems like you should take Ayuk. I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about any of this stuff.
Hollywood. Right, he's going ahead of Hollywood. I think I probably would have to take Hollywood.
I can't argue with you necessarily, but I mean, I kind of like St. Brown, but yeah.
Amari Cooper.
I think you got to take Amari.
Nuke.
Nuke's 30.
But he's tied till he's 34. They can't even get out of him.
I don't know. I don't have great answers for you right there because I haven't put much thought into it. When you rattle those all off, I almost would take St. Brown over all of them. Pretty quickly.
That's hot fire right there.
But I think I'm wrong. I think I'd be wrong. I think if I really sat down,
you'd blow some air into those embers
and thought about it and looked over some stuff, like,
if you're snap taking Amari, then I think you got to take most of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Ayuk's great.
I
but
could maybe take St. Brown over Ayuk because I just don't know if
I don't know where Trey Lance is going to be with Ayuk, and Debo's going to be there, and Kittle's probably going to be there, and
Debo's got to get extended.
Going to be there, and
Niners got to pay Debo. Gotta. He's an unrestricted free agent at 23.
Hollywood stays banged up and is in a system where he can be good, but they got a Bateman who could be, kind of maybe poaching some stuff out of there. So I could, we just a lot of unknowns for all of these, and that's why it's fluid moving forward. I wouldn't trade St. Brown for Hollywood. So,
okay. All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers it. You got anything else?
No, I'm good. I mean, just trying to be reasonable here. That's all.
Right. A little context, a little analysis.
Somebody's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Metrics,
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, hit me in the comments. Let me know. We'll duke it out respectfully, of course.
Duke it out.
Kill them with kindness.
Let me know.
Any comment?
Yeah.
Let me have it. Also, if you've made it this far, definitely let me get that subscription. If you're listening on the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, go hit that 5-star review. That would be oh so kind of you. We're going to keep coming with some more end-of-year rookie report cards, and then we're also going to keep pumping out prospects. We've already done 4 guys: Treylon Burks, Drake London, Garrett Wilson. Olave just dropped. By the time you see this, he's probably been out. But we got, and then we got some more in the works. We're going to hit some running backs, and just keep bringing you everything you need this offseason. Get you ready for the next year. We appreciate y'all joining us. Till next time, peace.